Okay. Hello, yellers. Welcome back to Why Am I Yelling? Musings from a middle-aged menopausal mom. I'm your host, Krista Rizzo. And when it comes to youth sports, I'm a seasoned sideline sitter, the loudest mom on the cheering section, and a huge supporter of youth rec leagues. So be honest, you guys. How many of you have sat on the sidelines of your kids' games and wanted to coach, ref, or throttle another player's dad? Youth sports can bring out the absolute best and worst in us. And I have definitely been there. The cheering, the tears, the chaos, the snacks, all of it. But today we are talking about something deeper. How to raise great humans, not just great athletes. And I've got the perfect guest joining us to help us with that. Jonathan Carone is the creator of Healthy Sports Parents. He's spent over 2 decades coaching, mentoring, and watching parents lose their minds in the stands. So he's helping us all find a healthier, saner way to navigate the world of youth sports. He's also the creator of the Weekend Playbook, which is a weekend or a weekly newsletter that helps parents focus on being present at your kids' activities or games or sports or whatever. So Jonathan, thank you so much for being here. We're excited to have you at Why Am I Yelling?
Thanks for having me. I think the subtitle of your podcast might be my favorite subtitle of any show I've ever been on. So that made me
Musings
giggle.
from a middle-aged menopausal
Yes.
mom.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
the alliteration, the rhythm,
hi.
It's just that was fun.
Oh,
Wasn't
thanks.
expecting that part.
Thanks. Appreciate that. So you have been around youth sports for 20 plus years, right? What was there an aha moment that made you say, I got to start talking to parents about reality and rec leagues and, what this means to us and how we can be better at it?
So it was over the course of a year or so, but there was 2 different things that stick out in my mind. The first one, we were at a YMCA basketball game for 7 and 8-year-olds
Sure.
at 8:00 in the morning. They were using basketballs that were too big for them on rims that were too high for them.
Yep.
And there were parents yelling like it's the NBA finals.
Yes.
So I went home that day and I made a sweatshirt that said, youth sports are not about winning.
Yeah.
And I wore that hoodie to every game the rest of the season. And some of the looks and conversations that I got.
Sure.
So I started wearing it to soccer games in the spring. Fast forward, last fall of 24, my daughter had a rough soccer season. So we were working through that. But then we would always do an end of season tournament.
Yep.
And rec league, we were rec league, and the tournament we played in was a combination of, like, the division we were in was rec league and some of the lowest level, not performing well competitive teams.
Okay.
So you could do both, but our town is so small that we were a U11 team, but we had 9, 10, and 11-year-old girls playing.
Okay.
So we were younger. And I also knew we were playing up a step in competition. So I went into this eyes wide open, knowing, like, we're probably going
to lose.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And so that was my entire, like, we're just here to see how we are and to end the season, whatever.
Yeah.
And again, youth sports are not about winning. That tournament, I saw a dad yell at his daughter after a game to the point that daughter leaned into mom crying and dad continued yelling. And when I saw that, I saw the dad, I saw how he was dressed, I saw where his team was from, and I sized him up pretty quickly. I could tell a lot of his background just from knowing those little things.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I had sympathy for the girl, but I had empathy for that dad, because I knew, had my life been slightly different, he reminded me a little bit about my dad.
Sure.
And so, like, I've had to yell at my dad to stop yelling at me at a 5th grade basketball game. So I had empathy for that dad. And I knew that there's no way that dude woke up that morning saying, hey, you know what, Krista, you know what I want to do today? I want to make my 9-year-old daughter cry on the side of a soccer field.
Yeah.
I knew that wasn't his goal going into that.
Yep.
So I went home and I couldn't shake it. And so I asked some friends, I was like, hey, what do you guys think about this? Like, this is my background. Do you think we should do this? They're like, yes, please.
Yeah.
So I went home. I reached out to some people I knew. I got the first 7 episodes of the podcast scheduled within like a week.
Sure.
So all of those were scheduled by last Christmas. They were ready to go. Podcast launched January 8th. The second week of the podcast, you've seen me on Instagram. So I do these direct to camera reels, almost like we're on a FaceTime or something like that. I started that week on a whim. and I did my first ever Death of Rec League video and talking about how it's such like Rec League going away is so bad for so many different
It's
reasons.
so bad. We're going to
That
talk about that
video
too.
got 6 million views in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I went from next to no followers to 26,000 followers in 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
it's like, and that's just on Instagram. TikTok popped off a little bit too. And it was just like this idea that I thought I had, that I thought maybe like 12 people will pay attention to. I mean, we're in October right now, and I will hit 100,000 followers across social by the end of this month.
Sure.
So like it has shown me and it reassured me that as crazy as some things can get on the sidelines, there is a large group of people who want a better way to do this and
Yeah.
are desperately craving someone, and thankfully there's a bunch of us out there doing this,
Yeah.
someone to show me a better way to navigate this whole thing.
I think it's brilliant, right? I have been sitting on sidelines. You and I were talking just before we pressed record, but I've been a sideline sitter at my kids. I have two boys. My oldest will be 20 next month. He's a junior in college since he was 3 years old. So for a very long time, and not just for one sport, right? It's multiple sports. It's every season. It is, the schlepping and the going and the doing and the whatever. And I have been yelling about it myself for many years about behavior of parents, behavior of kids, behavior of teams, the dwindling of the rec leagues, which we're going to talk about also, because I think that's wildly important. And so how do you, let's talk about the culture of youth sports, right? Why do you think it has gotten to where it has gotten, especially at these little tiny kid levels? Like, it's one thing if you're doing that to your high school senior or junior and you're like going to states because you're like the best in the league, right? That's one thing. But like, you got a 5-year-old on a soccer field or on a basketball court or playing base, whatever sport they're playing. Like, where is this culture coming from?
So I think at its core, it comes from two things called self-love and self-glory. And just to give a base level definition for that, self-love is the desire to be liked by others, and self-glory is the desire for others to see you as competent. And those two things are wildly natural. Like,
Yeah.
we all want to be loved. We all
Sure.
want to be seen as competent. There's nothing unhealthy about those two desires. But when we start getting love because feeling more loved or feeling like a better parent because our 6-year-old performed well in a soccer game,
Right.
then if our 6-year-old doesn't perform well, then we're not as loved and we're not as competent as a parent. And I don't think anyone will say that's what I'm doing
Yeah.
until you get past the surface and dig down deep and realize that like some of this stuff's going on in places that we haven't delved into in
Yep.
decades.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I say a lot is that youth sports holds a mirror to our biggest insecurities. Without and we're sitting on the side,
Yeah.
a soccer field at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. We're freezing cold. The dew's still on the ground. We just want to be sleeping. And all of a sudden, something that happened when we were 12 years old is triggered inside of us. And these feelings, we don't recognize where it's coming from at the
Yeah.
time, but it's popped up in us. And it's like we react out of that emotion because we didn't expect it.
Yeah.
We don't know where it's coming from. And so we're just reacting. And like, it's so hard until you do the work to realize like, oh, the reason I want to yell at that referee for not calling a foul is because I remember when the adult in the room didn't stick up for me when someone was hurting me as a third grader.
Right.
And so I want to make sure someone sticks up for my kid.
Right.
That's why I want to yell so bad. It's like, okay,
Right. I get that.
good intentions,
Sure.
but is that what we want to be doing? Do we want to be yelling at the 16-year-old referee who's still learning and trying to figure it out? Or are we going to be the adult in the room?
Right. Right. And I think that's an important point, right? It's like you kind of have to check yourself before you even get out of the
Constantly.
car in the morning
Constantly.
to go to the game. Because you're like you said, it's cold, it's early. Not that nobody wants to be here, but nobody wants to be here this cold and this early, right?
Your kids
And
didn't pack their water bottle. They didn't put their shoes on.
Right.
They forgot
Forgot
their
their
shin guards. They
stuff.
left the
Yeah.
bat at home. Like,
Yep. So many things.
you're
So many things.
overstimulated. For some reason, you're overstimulated by 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Yes. And I mean, I am also a big proponent of not overscheduling kids, right? So my kids only play one sport a season. They typically never play on multiple teams, although my little one is now playing on his middle school team and his rec team, but it's the same team, like the same kids for both teams. So it's like the same. Um, but I also believe like kids need to like have their downtime and they need to go outside and be with their friends. And they need to have their sleepovers and they need to like sometimes just chill out on their screens. For I know the parents that are like they don't want to be on the screens are going to yell at me for that. But I really think that it's important to have well-rounded children who know that they don't need to be doing something
Right.
24/7.
Yes. And like even then it's crazy because like we're in the same boat. Like we don't overschedule. Like
Yeah.
we my wife is an oncology nurse
Ugh,
and she's the most introverted person in the world working a highly extroverted job. So by the
right.
time she gets home from work,
She wants
she's
no
dead.
part of anybody. Yeah,
No,
I
no.
get
So
it.
it's like, so I, even as a husband to like protect her health, like I'm the extrovert. Like I'm okay going here and going there,
Yeah.
but like she's got to have that downtime. So we can't be going someplace all the time.
Yeah.
Even with all of that, having two kids,
Yep.
Thursday night dances at 5:30, soccer practices at 6.
Right.
So it's like we
Yeah.
have to split occasionally or like, so we're recording this on a Friday. Yesterday, my daughter's in 5th grade. She was invited by the girls' middle school soccer team to be a ball girl for them this year.
Fun.
So it's been the coolest thing in the world watching her on the
Sure.
sidelines with these
I
middle school
love that.
girls. It's been great for her, but they had their last game yesterday. It didn't start till 4. Well, she's got dance at 5:30.
Right.
So the game ends at like 5:05. She like wants to like hang out with the
Yeah.
girls after
Stick
the game a
around.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I want you to stick around. I want you to build those relationships. But we're leaving the middle school at 5:20.
Right.
And
To
so
book
like,
it to
and also, by the way, we're taking home a friend of ours who plays on my son's team because his older brother's playing for the boys team and mom and dad wanted to stay and watch the game. So we told them we would take him to practice because the boys are on the same team. So we're running home. They're asking me 1,000 questions. I don't have any gas in my car, by the way. I'm afraid I'm going to run out of gas. So like I throw the friend out of the car. My daughter runs in, grabs her dance bag. We run over
Good.
to dance. I go get gas. My wife puts the boys in the car to go over to the park. She also has to get her run in for the night because that's what her exercise
Right.
schedule was that day.
Right.
So it's like we have this 5:20 to 5:50
Mm-hmm.
window that was, even though we're not overscheduled, was nuts. And
Yes.
it's like, it's just the reality of having multiple kids doing
Yep.
multiple activities.
And like you are totally speaking my language when it's like going from one to the next, no gas in the car. Like we were literally talking about it last night where I was walking out of a board meeting, school board meeting, because I sit on my school board also. And one of my girlfriends was like, let's see if my car makes it home. Like that's like the roulette parents
Well, so
play.
so I I I parked at the soccer game and my car said I had 22 miles left on it, which is fine. I live 5 minutes from the middle
Right.
school. I'm good. I parked on a slight
Oh
incline.
yeah, forget it.
So when I got back in the car, it said low fuel and wouldn't give me the mileage. So of course,
Now you're
on one
panicked.
hand, I know I have 20 miles left. On the
Right.
other hand, it's telling me I have no
Right.
fuel. So I'm like, can I get home, get to dance, and get to the
Right.
gas station before?
Well,
I
let's
did,
roll
thankfully.
that dice. Let's roll
Yep.
that dice. I love it. And this is kind of going to segue into like raising the great humans, right? Because I think that when you are intentional and aware of the job that you're doing as a parent and, having these conversations with your kids about what's important and why it's important and, their schedules and that kind of stuff, right? How does that work in the context of like youth sports and what kind of lessons are we teaching our kids when it comes to resilience and teamwork and like that kind of stuff?
Well, even before we get to that, like I did a thing a couple years ago that my kids started like telling me to stop doing. I would
Oh,
walk with them to the field. Hey, is there anything you can do today to make me love you any more or any less? No. Is there
right.
anything you can do to make me any more proud of you than I already am? No. To the point that like my son, who's 9 now, he was 7 at the time. I'd go, hey, Owie, is there anything? No, no, no. I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay,
Like,
I got to stop that.
so starting with the idea of making sure my kids know I love them and I'm proud of them regardless of their
Yeah.
performance on a field.
Yep.
Like that's the first, because how many people do stupid things as adults because they're trying to earn the love of their parents?
Everyone.
Right. So if we can like we can start if that's our starting point, we're
Yeah.
okay. And then from there, I have been like I don't care about the results.
Yeah.
Like I truly do. Like I want to win. Like we're gonna try to win. Every team I coach, we're gonna try to win. But like people ask me, like, what's the score? I don't know. A couple
Right.
to a couple.
Right.
Like I
1-1,
how
0-0. Right.
what's the effort they're putting in?
Yeah.
Like are they being good teammates? Like I've cheered my daughter on this because I'm coaching her team this year. But like I was like, hey, you played well today, but I noticed you were cheering your teammates on a lot, and like I really appreciate
That's
that.
great.
Like,
Yeah.
finding those little things to talk about. It's like that type of stuff. Like, I don't know if they're going to play in high school. I know
No.
they're not playing in college. Like, so like, I know my genetics. I know their genetics. And so like, by the time they get done playing, whenever they're done playing, like they're ideally going to have like 60 years left on this earth to be humans.
Yep.
So like, why am I focusing so much on results athletically when long term, like
Yeah.
those athletic results don't mean crap,
Nothing.
but the
Right.
person they become is what actually matters. So, how can I use these stupid, silly games
Yep.
in a way to teach them the life lessons so that they can be a competent adult who has every tool they need to have whatever success they want to have? And they're not going to remember the result. Like I posted a
Yeah.
video yesterday. You may have seen this before the middle school soccer game I was at yesterday. Um, randomly, led by the girls, there was a dance off at midfield to Cupid Shuffle.
Nice.
And like, cause like they're playing, they're
Yeah.
waiting on the refs. And like, so,
Yeah.
Cha Cha Slide comes on and both teams are on the sideline dancing.
Love it.
And then Cupid Shuffle comes on. And at the same time, both teams kind of walk to the middle. So they're standing parallel of each other dancing. And I told somebody, I posted on social, these girls will never remember the score of this game.
Nope.
By next spring, they're not going to have a clue what the score of that game was. But I guarantee you they will remember the time that they lined up against another team and did Cupid Shuffle before the game started.
Yeah.
And so it's like, so if that's the case, why am I so concerned about the results? Or can I use these silly games that are fun, that are emotional, that teach all these life lessons, that are the safest place in the world for my kids to experience failure?
Yep.
Why can I not leverage those to create and help cultivate a human being instead of just focus on an athlete?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, smart. And not every, and we go back, you can go back to, you know, parents who, like, even my parents, like my mother used to say, well, I want you to have more than I had. Right. And we all probably want the same thing for our kids. I want you to have more than I had. Right. I want to give you the world. If I could give you the world, I would give you the world. And I think a lot of parents feel, you know, think that they are giving their kids these opportunities, quote unquote, to play these sports and, you know, join these teams or do whatever activity they're doing. But they don't realize that it's become a detriment to the child.
Well, can I tell you what I'm willing to bet most of your listeners didn't have their parents didn't have growing up? They didn't have
Youth
parents who
organized
were,
sports.
well, no, not just that, but they didn't have parents who were emotionally aware
No, not at all.
and like cognizant of mental health.
Sure.
And so like that's not a knock on them either. They didn't have the tools.
No, they didn't
at
know
the time.
better.
They did the
Yeah.
best they could with the tools they had. So like,
Yep.
please don't hear me knocking the generation.
No, not at all. I say that all the time. Yep.
But like, if we really want to give our kids better than we ever had, then isn't raising them in ways that they're aware of their emotions, that they have the tools to work through hard things, that they know how to support others and to how to advocate for themselves? Like, isn't that what is giving them more? Because if they have that,
Yeah.
what's going to be their limit? Like if they're aware of their own emotional state, know how to work through their emotions, know how to like manage their mental health and keep themselves mentally healthy while also knowing they're loved and supported by their parents no matter what they do.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
the world is theirs.
Yep.
How many stupid things did I do in my 20s?
I mean,
Because
thank
I,
God there was no social media when I was young.
well, there was for me. So like, it's like, how many stupid things did I do because I didn't understand the emotions I was dealing with?
Yeah.
Because like, I didn't learn till I was 32 years old going through counseling that I never learned how to work through disappointment as a kid. So anytime something had the chance of disappointing me, I would run from it.
That's fascinating. Yeah.
If I would have learned that
Yeah.
at 12, how different would
Yeah.
my college experience have been?
Yeah.
Like what job would I have gone for out of college if I wasn't scared of being disappointed?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
so
Yeah.
these are tools that have like
Life.
lifelong
Yeah. Yeah.
wakes behind them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, that's also very important. Giving your kids the tools that they need to be successful in any situation. Right. And that comes along with, we're talking about sports, but like sportsmanship and, being a good teammate and all the things that are so important. Right. I would much rather have my kid be recognized for that stuff than the number of goals or whatever that he had in a game. Right. And
1,000%.
I mean, like one of the greatest things you can hear is from another parent or somebody else. It's a pleasure to have your child at my house. It's a
Yep.
pleasure this. I love having your kid in my class. I love, I got a email from one of my kids' teachers yesterday, in fact, his computer teacher, and she was like, Elias was caught being good. I needed to tell you about it. And I was like, these kinds of things are the things that make my day. I don't care
Yes.
about anything else. Like these are the things that make my day. When I can hear from somebody else, from a coach, from a parent, from a teacher, from somebody else that's not me or a member of my family, a friend, that this kid of yours, you know, was helpful on the field or was supportive of their teammates or went the extra mile in their classroom. Like that to me is I'm doing a good job. And
Because
that's
if we're
yeah,
honest, if we're creating spaces for our kids to be healthy, we're not seeing those things at home often
right.
because home is their space where they can just
Yeah, I
like
mean, listen,
like
you can
a
yell at
teacher
me at
tells me,
home. Don't you dare yell at somebody else outside the house.
well, I picked Olivia up one day from school and one of her teachers is like an after school thing or something. Like one of her teachers like, man, she's such a leader and she's so responsible in the classroom. I know she'll do anything I ask. I was like,
Same kid?
this girl hasn't picked up the towel that she used to take a shower in the past 3 weeks. Like
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
clothes are all like, but it's just a reminder that like when they're safe at home,
Yeah.
they're probably
There's
gonna do some stuff that shows us differently.
yes, doesn't
But
match.
who they are outside is more likely to be who they actually are.
Yeah.
And we're just that safe space because like I've got my pile of clothes in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Like
We all have our piles
yeah.
for sure. Let's talk about rec league sports because, there is this influx of elite teams, academy teams, interleague teams, whatever you want to call them. They're multiple things, whatever, right? Um, I can speak for my experience. My kids never played on any of those kinds of teams. They always played rec league sports. Not because they weren't good enough to play on those teams, but because I value my time
Mhm.
also. And that is a much bigger commitment than I was willing as a parent to throw into this and
Mhm.
an investment that wasn't going to get me the next Derek Jeter. You know what I
Right.
mean? And, I had mentioned to you before we even started, like my oldest son could have potentially played soccer in college. We have a good friend who is a soccer coach at a very prestigious university. And he sat us down and was like, oh, yeah, he'll get on a team. That's not the problem. He just wants to, you just want to make sure he wants to play and let me walk you through what a player's life looks like. And
Yep.
as he was having this conversation with our friend, he looked at me and my son looked at me and he was like, I don't want to do this. Like this is not what college is going to be for me.
Right.
I know that I'm not going to be a professional soccer player. And so there's no point in like I'll play rec, I'll play intramural if I
Yep.
feel like it. But
Yep.
like he was smart enough to know that his time had come,
Mhm.
right? And I think that's brilliant. I was very proud of him for that because there are other parents out there who would have said, absolutely not. If you're going to make a team, if you have the possibility of making a team, you're going to be on
Right.
that team.
Yep.
And I think that that's the difference between a rec league and one of these travel teams, we will call them, right? And the investment is there, but there's also the delusion of grandeur for the parent and the child. And so it has impacted our rec league here for sure. Like we have decimated certain levels of in our soccer league here of playing. Like we don't have there's like no U12 or no U11 girls
Hmm.
anymore because they all went to this team because I also live in a place where we don't have a ton of people. So it's
Right.
like they either play one or the other. There's not enough for multiple teams, right? So let's talk about rec sports, why they're important and the delusions of grandeur, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's such a tough conversation
Yeah,
because there are so many layers to it.
sure.
Um, I think kids who want more competition should be able to get more competition if that's what they and their family want. But I also believe that every kid should have a place to play if they want to just play.
Yeah.
And so it's this tension that we have to live in and that we have to be very honest about on both sides. Um, Above the age of 12, rec leagues don't exist in a lot of places.
No.
Like
Yeah.
for middle school and high school kids, like we tell them, hey, unless you want to be great, you don't deserve to play anymore, which is just like
Right. It's
intramurals in high
yeah.
school have gone away. Like it's a terrible message we send to kids.
Yeah.
But the flip side of it, I'll just use our family as an example. My son's in third grade,
Yep.
and we live in a small area where we don't have the numbers to go gender specific for rec league soccer.
Okay.
So we're co-ed,
Yeah.
and co-ed's great for a while. And
Yes.
then, but
Yeah.
like his team this year, he's playing with a couple buddies that have played together, and like they're having to actively pull back
Right.
because they don't want to
They
beat
want-
teams 10-0.
Yeah.
And then we had a couple weekends ago where he had his Saturday off and we were just up watching some friends, and the U12 team had a doubleheader that day and they had a spot for him to play. So he jumped up and played U12 rec soccer and held his own. But there was a spot in the game where he didn't go after a ball because he didn't want to knock down a girl.
Okay.
If it was a boy, they would have bumped,
Yeah.
whatever, but he didn't
Right.
want to knock down a girl. So our only options for him to play boys soccer because of the um just the numbers
Yeah. Yep.
are to drive 25-30 minutes the next town over and maybe
Yeah.
recruit some of his friends,
Yeah.
or in fourth grade when he's eligible, it was fourth or fifth grade, to go travel and put together
Yeah.
some boys from the rec team. And thankfully, like our local association, it's like 800 a year for both seasons. So
Yeah.
total for both seasons.
Yeah.
And it's like 4 home games and 4 games within 45 minutes to an hour. So it's
Right.
like, it's not like
It's
travel baseball
doable.
where, yeah.
Right.
So there, again, there's some nuance. It's like, we're not traveling hours to games. We're not
Right.
doing multiple tournaments
Right.
like multiple times a month. So like,
Yeah.
what I come back to is, regardless of the level, it's got to be driven by the kid. It should
Yep.
be what the kid wants, not what mom and dad think they need.
Right.
Um, and we should be doing whatever we can to encourage kids of any level to have a chance to play. And so, like, are we creating a culture around this that tells 13-year-olds, if you don't make the middle school team in seventh grade, you should just quit or you have to go travel? Or is there a place for a 13-year-old to play recreation, baseball, softball, basketball?
Yeah.
What's the culture we're creating as adults? And then as parents, are we operating out of fear that our kid's going to get left behind? So that's the reason we go chase these things into travel. Like, travel in and of itself is not bad,
No.
but does it line up with the values of your family?
Right. Right.
Does it line up with what your kid wants?
Right.
Or are you operating out of this fear that if I don't do it now, my kid's not going to make the middle school team?
Right.
So the motivations behind it, I think, are so incredibly important because when we operate out of fear, we do stupid stuff.
Yep.
And so like there's a place for all of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Agreed.
so many of the kids who are playing travel are rec league kids
Yeah.
that a system told them they had to play travel or they weren't quote unquote good
Good
enough.
enough. Right.
If they wanted to be in the in crowd, they had to play travel.
Yeah.
If they didn't want to be looked at as not as good, they had to play travel.
Right.
When what really would have made sense for that family is for 7 of those families on that baseball team to stick it out in rec
In rec.
and
Yep.
make rec better. But once 2 of them left, 2 more decided to go.
Yep.
And then once 4 of them are gone, it's not as good of an experience in
Right.
rec. So the other 4 left. And now the kids that are left behind are have this terrible experience because the people who are qualified to lead the rec league are now
Right.
all
They go.
they're the travel ball monstars. So it's like 4 dads who would have been a great board
Yeah.
for the local rec league,
Yeah.
like are now all are coaching the same travel team.
Yeah.
So instead of all the kids in your community, it's
Yeah.
one
Yep.
team for one. And I'm going to be completely honest. I am fighting that right now
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
my son's at a spot
Your
where
situation. Yeah.
and like the guys. So I'm not coaching U10 this year in his league because like I said, I've coached in the past few years. So I'm on the board for our local club.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not coaching.
Yep.
And so last night at practice, me and a couple of the dads who are coaching are the kids who are more likely to want to keep playing.
Yes.
It's like, what do we do, guys? Like, do we
Yeah.
go like? But I'm sitting there talking. I talked to our league president for like 30 minutes. I was like, Joseph, I don't want to screw this league.
Yeah.
But like, if we take these kids to Classic next year, you're also taking 4 of your best coaches.
Right.
Well, who's going to coach a Classic team? One of us. I don't know.
Right. Right.
But if we do it like these kids, he's like, crap, yeah. Like, and
How
so
do we
like,
get our people to want to play rec sports?
and yes, and like,
You know,
there's no great solution to
No.
it.
right.
And I am empathetic to all these different situations. If you're doing it because, like I mentioned, I was like, I want these boys to have the best experience possible, but I don't want to screw over the club in the process.
Sure.
And so, like, if that's your mindset,
Yeah.
You're gonna-
It's a tug of war. Yeah.
you're going to wrestle with it and you're going to make
Uh-huh.
the decision that you think is best. But I think that is a better mindset than the screw everybody else. I'm going to take care of my family and do what's best for us.
Right.
So there's this, I think we don't like to say these words in American culture, but there's this individualist aspect of it or this collectivist aspect to it.
Yep.
Of like, individualism says, I'm going to do what's best for me and screw everybody else. Full blown collectivism says you have to do what's best for the group, even if it's not good for you. I think there's a tension there.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I might not always agree with your opinion or your decision that you make, but if you're at least weighing the impact that you have on the community you're part of, then I at least know you're caring about other kids.
Right.
And so it's not just a like, I'm all that matters type of thing.
Right.
So like,
And
go ahead.
go ahead. Now finish that thought.
I was like, so like, I love rec league. I think there should be more rec league. I'm so glad Disney's investing in rec league. Like,
Yeah.
like all these corporations are investing in rec leagues because they recognize the need for them.
Yeah.
So I am 1,000% on board there. While at the same time being emotionally mature enough to say there are other options for other kids that other kids need. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's an all or nothing black or white thing that like so many people who are travel ball think if you talk about rec league, you automatically hate travel ball. No.
Right.
I
Right.
hate toxic travel ball.
Right.
There's the difference.
Yes. And I think, to your point, the individualism and the collectivism is a great representation of that, right? I have been on the sidelines where I have friends whose kid plays on our rec team and also belongs to a travel team.
Hmm.
right? They do both because their kid loves soccer. He plays all year round. That's what they do. It's fine.
And he
It
wants to play with
works.
his friends at home.
Yes, and that's what he wants to do, right? But then there are the people who never had a problem with the rec league until they decided to leave, that the individualism, but then they took their buddies with them, like you said, right? Because their kids were quote unquote better and this wasn't good enough. If I have to hear that one more time, and it's like, I just, that's what puts the bad taste in people's mouth. It's like you're you don't care about like you clearly don't care about your community. And if you cared, you would invest maybe more time into the rec league and try to build that up, or you would be having a different conversation and you wouldn't be bashing the rec league about, oh, they don't give my kid enough. And it's a rec league, dude. It's all
Well, and then
volunteers. It's all, like,
the other piece I'll say to that is it's like the situation we're in, the ones who have invested in the rec league, who have stepped up to coach, who have put in the time to make the rec league better. It's not, we're now getting to a place. It's like, is it time for our kids to move to a whatever their next level is?
yeah,
And so it's like when you have taken the time to invest in the younger generations, when you decide to move on, it's different than if you've just sat on the
yeah,
sidelines and then all of a sudden, oh, those people aren't good enough. We got to go over here.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's side like there's a difference there. It's like, no, like we've spent 4 years since these boys were in 8U
yeah,
coaching whoever wanted to be coached. I have coached autistic kids. I have coached kids with ADHD. I have coached kids who come from broken homes. I have
yeah,
coached kids who have never played. Every kid has had this opportunity.
yeah,
If you have taken the time to invest in your rec league and then you move to what's next,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I
yeah,
am I always going to agree with you? No. But it's the ones who say like, "Oh, that's not good enough for me,"
right.
without taking the chance to like invest in a kid.
Yeah,
Like it's one thing to complain, but have you done anything to help yet?
right. Right. And they think their idea of helping is going to be to the better place.
Well, and here's
Okay.
the other piece of that. Like when it comes to rec league, what we need is just parents who are willing to love some kids and help them have a really good time.
Yep.
Like it's not about teaching them the best skills because we're talking 6, 8, 10 years old at this point.
Right.
It's like
Right.
I tell all the coaches at our league that I kind of quote unquote oversee or help mentor or whatever you want to call it. Like our goal this year is to get these kids to sign up next season.
Right. Right.
Can we create such a great atmosphere that these kids want to come back?
Yeah.
And if they get to a point where they want more skill development, because we have instilled such a love of the game in that kid, then we've won.
Yeah. For
If
sure.
it's mom and dad pushing because they're scared they're going to fall behind or whatever, that's a different conversation.
Yep.
So I hope and I think your listeners can be smart enough to see the difference between those two things.
Yeah. Well, I hope so too, listeners. Um, so that's great. And I think it's important, right? I think, understanding limitations and boundaries and, you know, availability, right? You live in a place that doesn't have a lot of availability for a lot of things because there's not a
Yep.
lot of people. Same for me, right? It was very different when we were in New York City. Like I sat on the board of our New York rec soccer league, and we had over 1,000 kids that we would sign up every season. That's a lot of kids for not a lot of space in little Brooklyn, New York,
We have
right?
300 for my entire county.
Right. And Connecticut, we have that
Yeah.
same. Like it's super small. And so, you go from two very different situations. And
And I'm sorry to interrupt.
go ahead.
I think our country is so freaking big
Hmm.
that people don't realize that there's an existence outside of what they're living.
Right.
So small town people don't understand what's going on in Brooklyn.
Right.
Brooklyn doesn't
Right.
understand what's going on in the suburbs.
Right.
And it's like we're so in our own bubbles
Yeah.
that when I say like rec league's dying, well, we got 1,000 kids in Brooklyn.
Right.
Okay, go an hour outside the city.
Correct.
tell me what's happening there. Well, I've never been there. Okay,
Right.
well, like,
I'll tell you what's
like,
happening there. Right.
so it's like until we can put ourselves in other people's shoes and have some empathy because their situation's a little different than ours,
Yeah.
then like we got to at least try to understand other people.
Yeah. I think that, you know, the idea of, rec league to me is the idea of community, right? It's,
Yes.
we're all coming together for a common goal. And it literally like, and the two rec leagues that I've been a part of, our city one and our country one, as I'll call it, um, we have rules, right? Like I'm going to assume that all these rec leagues have like these sideline rules. Like we get like these little pieces of paper that say, here's how parents should act on the sidelines. Here, how we should behave. Like we shouldn't coach our kids from the sidelines because that's the coach's job. And like all the
Right.
little, bullet pointed rules that we have. But I think that when you have a group of people, parents and volunteers and, referees who are also volunteering, they only get paid, but like who are giving of their time to this league, you should want to make it be the best because you want other kids to join and have it be robust. Like we have kids that come from other towns into our rec league
Mhm.
because it is good, right? And I think
None
that's
of us are getting paid in mine. I'll tell you that much.
none of us are getting paid in mine either.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's a it I my idea is it should be a good time for the parents and the kids.
Hmm.
Like it should be a good time for everybody. I like to go to my soccer games because I sit on the sidelines with my girlfriends. My husband's one of the coaches. He's on the other side of the field. I don't have to listen to him. And we just, hang out and we watch our kids play and we have a good morning or a good afternoon and it's super fun. And then, maybe you go grab a pizza afterwards. Like,
So this year, the past two seasons, our league has done like this 1 day end of season tournament,
yeah.
and
Yep.
the parents could not handle it.
Oh,
We've had issues with parents. Like last spring, we had there was a group of parents sitting on the sidelines chanting "cheater, cheater"
oh
in a
no.
U10 game.
No, no.
The last fall, we had a dad going off on a 17-year-old referee because he thought that she did something like so. So this year, me and one of the other guys on the board, we pushed really hard to not have this tournament because
Yeah.
the game should not be about results. Like we're having to like small town country folk explain to them that like the results aren't the biggest thing in the world. Well, aren't we going to compete? Yeah, we're going to compete, but then it's going to be a one game,
That's
like
it. Right.
a one. It's so like a kid's not going to take a chance in a game in August if they think it's going to have an impact on their entire season.
Right.
So what we're doing instead is this 1 day festival
Right.
where I'm so excited for it. We're doing every kid gets 2 games.
Awesome.
We've got food trucks coming out. We've got
Yep.
vendors. We've got a DJ coming out all afternoon. We're ending the day with a coaches game where kids get to be on the sidelines to yell at the coaches.
Awesome.
And then once the sun goes down, we're watching K-pop Demon Hunters on the field.
I love
So it's like
it. Oh, it's so
but we had to
good.
convince people like, well, aren't we going to teach these kids they need to compete? The competition's good. I'm like, they're going to compete. They're still going to play, but
Right.
we don't have to put like a tournament winner on it. Like that
Right.
trophy behind me, like that's what I won last year for winning this. Like, it cost $10.
Right.
Like it doesn't mean
Yes.
anything.
Right.
I literally keep it there so I can use it as the example of like how little this stuff means.
Yes.
Um, but like we did it because we wanted it to be a community aspect.
Yeah.
Um, I interviewed Jason Sachs earlier this year. He's the CEO of Positive Coaching Alliance.
Yeah.
And PCA and the Oakland Unified School District and Steph Curry's Eat Grow Play, I think is the name of it. Their
Something like
nonprofit.
that. Yeah.
They've done a ton of work in the Oakland Unified School District for rec leagues
Yep.
because they realized there was no place for kids to play for free until they got to middle school. So they did this big investment in creating elementary school based leagues so that kids could have a place to play for free.
Sure.
And one of the things they have found out of that is how much more connected the parents feel to their community
Yep.
based on these rec leagues. And it's like Jason says, and I love the way he said it, like youth sports, especially rec league, might be the last place that people from all different backgrounds come together in our country,
For sure.
regardless of political background, regardless of religious background,
Right.
ethnic background. Like youth sports are the one place where everyone still comes together around those fields.
Yep.
And like We're losing that in a lot of places because adults have gotten too focused on competition and being quote unquote elite.
Yeah.
And so like there are social
Yeah.
detriments to rec league going away. And yes, I know you can build community around travel teams. I know, like, I'm not
Yeah.
discounting that.
Agreed.
But when you're traveling to another town,
Yeah.
by nature, you are leaving people behind.
Yeah.
And local community rec leagues are the place where everyone gets a chance to come together and be a part of something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, agreed. Agreed. That's why I'm a big fan. Um, all right, I'm going to ask you two more questions.
She has a list of 700, by the way. So
I have
she's
a list
going
of
through and
700 because this is, I mean, you can ask all my friends. They know that this is like a big, like I'm a big proponent of this kind of stuff. Let's talk about the car ride home, right?
Okay.
Because it's always a good time, I think. Well, maybe it's a good time, maybe it's not. It depends on what the outcome of the game was. But I often find that if I'm like the carpool mom, or if I'm bringing another kid from the team home with my son or whatever, um, you get a lot of good banter in the car. But also, if it has been a game of, high emotion and maybe some stress, and there's been, some loud parents on the side, or a parent yelling cheater, cheater to a ref, like I mean, I will admit that I've gotten heightened because of a bad call or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what does that car ride home look like? And what are you trying to accomplish on your car ride home?
The car ride home is the worst place for unrequested feedback you have. So
Yes,
first off, let's
for
start
sure.
there.
Yes.
Some kids will want feedback, but let them ask.
Yeah.
But to get in the car and all of a sudden start telling all the things they could have done better, or like, that's not the place for that.
Yeah.
Your kid is like, they just played for at least an hour. They're mentally exhausted. They're emotionally exhausted. They're physically exhausted.
Yeah.
So to give them feedback right away, if they have not requested it, don't do that. The only things you should be asking: did you have fun? Where do you want to eat?
Yeah.
What do you want to listen to?
Yeah.
And then shut up.
Right. Right.
Like, let the kid talk about what they want. Let them lead that conversation. Like, offer them food, offer them music, let them know you love them.
Yeah.
And then go where they take you,
Yeah.
because this is their time. It's not your time to get out your emotions that you just experienced and to emotion dump on your kid who just played a game.
Right.
That's what we want to do
Yeah.
because it's top of
Yeah.
mind to us. But we have to be emotionally mature enough to say, I'm going to wait till an appropriate time to say this.
Right.
So
Or
my
ever.
go,
Right. Maybe you
yeah,
don't, maybe it's
well,
not something you need to say.
that's where I was about to get to. My
Yeah.
my go-to with my kids is, hey, if you want to know some things you could have done better today, or a couple ways we can get better, let me know. I'll be glad to tell you. But that's up to you. I'm not going to tell you those unless you tell me. So you can ask me later. You can not ask me. We'll talk about it at practice. Like, that's up to you.
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
Right.
And
Have a good time.
but I tell them, like, I'll be here for you if you want me to. Like, if you like, Liv, I'm your coach. Oh, and I've
Right.
coached you before. Like,
Oh, by the way.
I kind of know this sport, but like, I'm your dad first. So like, you let
Yes.
me know if you want me to tell you anything. More often than not, they don't ask, and
Yeah.
so I hold my breath until there's a time. Like, later in the week when me and Owen are outside playing two square in the driveway, it's like, hey, remember in your game on Saturday when this happened? He's like, maybe next time you could do this, and like, I think you'd have a better result. Okay,
Okay.
my
Right.
my serve.
Yeah.
And so
That's it.
it's just I dropped
Yeah.
it, and then I like,
Moved on.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's good advice. Okay. Finally, what is one thing you hope parents take away from healthy sports parents that change how they show up for their kids?
That their presence matters more than their kids' performance. That their presence as a loving, supportive parent on the sideline is more important than any performance their kid will ever have in a game.
Yeah.
Because let's say your kid does go on to play a sport in college, or maybe they're part of the 0.5% that goes on to be a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Chances are by the time they're 25 years old, they're done playing. And
Yeah.
let me just go and give you the stats in general. 70% quit by the time they're in high school, by the time they're 13,
Yep.
of kids who play in elementary school. Only 6% of high school varsity athletes go on to play college at any level.
Yep.
Junior college, NAI, Division 1, 2, 3, whatever. So at some point between 13 and 25, really 11 and 25, your kid's going to quit their sport
Yep.
and never play again. You still have 30 to 40 years as their parent.
Yep.
How you lead during these years playing will have a long impact on how you are as a parent or how they view you as a parent for those next 30 to 40 years.
Yeah.
If all you can, like, do you really want to be the dad that can only talk about their daughter's high school basketball performance at her junior year when she's 37 years old?
Well, I know some of those too. Yes.
I do. Like, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
so your presence with your kid matters, and seeing them as more than just an athlete matters.
Yeah.
And so, like, can we see them as full human beings, going back to where we started, and not just performers? If we can do that, that changes everything.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good final thought. Thank you for that final thought. You guys, yellers, this was such a good conversation. I don't know how long this was because I don't have a timer, but I know it was longer than our 30 minutes. So,
yeah, so we start. Yeah, I'm just looking at the clock. I know what time I got on this call, and I know what time it is now.
Me too.
And I know we yapped a little bit beforehand, but yeah,
that's okay. That's okay. This was a good conversation, and I think that that's important. And the people appreciate good conversations, right, you guys?
Get two Italians together, and we're going to talk.
That's it. We're done. So listen, thank you guys for being here. Yeah, let's go. Jonathan, it was a pleasure to have you here. If you're ever in Connecticut or New York, let me know.
We'll do.
We will definitely hit it up. Thanks for doing all you're doing. I really appreciate it. I know there are tons of people obviously out there that appreciate what you're doing. Keep doing it.
Thank you.
You guys can find him again. He's got a newsletter every week. We're going to put all that stuff in the show notes so you guys can follow and subscribe and do all the things. But remember, yellers, the next time you're on the sidelines, your job isn't to coach, control, or critique. It's to cheer loudly, maybe with your inside voice. But I don't ever use my inside voice, so I can't even say that with a straight face. This has been another episode of Why Am I Yelling? Remember, I love you guys. Have a good one.